Do you dare to watch a frightening and gripping story? Before starting our story, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like our channel. In a quiet, dimly lit room, the unsettling feeling of being watched has become a nightly ordeal for young Emily. At just 11 years old, Emily has always been a curious and imaginative child, but for the past few weeks, she has been haunted by a relentless sense of dread, especially as the clock strikes midnight. Each night, as she tries to drift off to sleep, she hears strange noises coming from beneath her bed, soft whispers, faint rustling, and, occasionally, a sinister chuckle that sends shivers down her spine. At first, she brushed it off as her imagination. "It's just the wind," she would tell herself, pulling her blanket tightly around her. But as the days passed, the noises grew louder and more frequent. One evening, she worked up the courage to peer beneath her bed, only to be met with darkness. "There's nothing there," her mother reassured her each time Emily described the chilling sounds. One night, after a particularly restless evening, Emily was jolted awake by a distinct, raspy whisper right beside her ear. "Emily," it called, drawing out her name in a spine-tingling hiss. Frozen in terror, she clutched her blanket and squeezed her eyes shut, praying it would go away. Minutes felt like hours as she lay there, paralyzed by fear. The following day, Emily confided in her older brother, James. Though he dismissed it as a bad dream, he agreed to stay with her that night. Together, they sat in the dark, silently waiting. At midnight, the soft murmurs begin again, growing louder with each passing second. James felt a chill run down his spine as he, too, heard the unsettling whispers. Who's there?" he whispered, his voice trembling. Silence, then the bed began to creak as though something underneath was shifting. Summoning their courage, they grabbed a flashlight and shone it beneath the bed. To their horror, two gleaming eyes stared back at them, unblinking and filled with malice. They scrambled back, nearly falling off the bed in their panic. The next day, Emily's parents brushed it off as a shared nightmare, but Emily and James knew it was real. Desperate, they turned to the only person they knew might understand, an elderly neighbor known for her tales of spirits and the supernatural. She listened intently, her face growing more serious with each word they spoke. "You must not provoke it," she warned. "Some spirits are drawn to fear, and if you let it know you're scared, it will stay." That night, they followed her advice, placing salt around the bed and chanting the words she'd given them. But the spirit was not easily deterred. The whispers grew angrier, louder. Emily lay wide awake, the chanting echoing in her mind, trying to drown out the malicious voice from below. But it was no use. The spirit's presence was stronger than ever. Days turned into weeks, and the hauntings only worsened. Emily's once bright eyes grew dark and hollow from sleepless nights, and James could barely bring himself to sleep in his own room, fearing he would hear the spirit again. One night, unable to bear the torment any longer, Emily whispered into the darkness, "What do you want?" The response came instantly, a chilling, guttural growl, "You." Terrified, Emily finally understood this spirit had been lying in wait, feeding off her fear, growing stronger with each sleepless night. She could feel its cold touch against her hand, the icy fingers pressing against her skin. She screamed, and her parents rushed in, finding her curled up, shaking uncontrollably. The next morning, her family decided to leave the house temporarily, seeking help from a spiritual advisor. The spirits seemed to linger, even in their absence, haunting their dreams and taunting them. But eventually, with the help of the advisor, they performed a cleansing ritual, hoping to rid the house of the malevolent force. To this day, Emily can't shake the feeling that something is watching her, waiting for the right moment to return. The bed may be empty now, but in the stillness of the night, she knows that the spirit is never truly gone, lurking in the shadows, waiting patiently beneath her bed. You can support us by subscribing and liking for the continuation of this type of content. See you in our next story. Thank you!